again for my weekly show or presentation, whatever you want to call it, called Ask the Lender. We do this every Thursday at 11 a.m. We focus on the mortgage industry, what's going on, what's happening, what do you need to be aware, what tools you need to be using in the changing market that we are experiencing. And yes, whoever tells you the market is not changing is now watching the tea leaves. My co-host once again is none other what was the title?
Intergalactical.
Intergalactic Operation Chief of CMG Home Loans, Mr. Ruben Crispino. How are you, Ruben?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, Ruben, I wanted to chat with you today more than anything because I know that, just like me, you're consuming everything that's going on out there, and we keep seeing changes in the market, and we're seeing inventory coming up, and not that inventory is out of whack for what reality is, but for most people, this is not what they're used to. Inventory from we're seeing inventory from 2000, I think June 2020 was it around the graph. June 2020 till today, we are up 53%, right? So, but when you look at that, which is a lifetime, I mean, you remembers June 2020, but let's not remember that. But if you look at June 2020 to today, inventory is up 53%. So if I want to panic everybody, I say, hey, inventory is up 53% since June 2020. Now, if I go back to June 2014, we are still below substantially. We're still 2 months below of inventory. So, but needless to say, it's trending up, and you gotta be a little bit more competitive with your listing. So in today's presentation, what I did is I reached out to a lot of listing agents, and I wanted them to join and learn about this new strategy that you guys have come up with to help listings sell. And from what I gather from what you sent me, you are giving listing agents the same advantage that D.R. Horton and Lennar are using right now. The D.R. Horton and Lennar are two of the largest builders in the U.S. And if you look at their projects, I just got a brochure from actually a project Baguio, the one in north of Atlantic and Pompano, just east of Dixie. They're offering 5.2% interest rate on the last 2 or 3 townhomes that they have left. So that when I got your presentation yesterday, I said, well, this is literally we now as realtors have the opportunity to do the same thing that Lennar, D.R. Horton, Toll Brothers, all of these big developers are doing. Which is and present a more palpable rate to the consumer, so they could act on it. So I just made you host because I think you want to share some information, and for everybody that has questions, what we'll do is we'll pause in between and answer those questions.
Okay, I do not see where I can share my screen though. Let's see.
Yeah, you're the host.
Oh, got it. Okay. So before I share my screen, get to see me for a little bit. Like Ernesto said, I'm Ruben Crispino. I'm the regional manager for CMG Home Loans. Okay. We're now the 4th largest lender in the country. I think last time we spoke, we were the 6th. So, about a week, we've grown that much. So companies really growing because they come up with unique and different programs. Like I always tell you, we're the biggest company you've never heard of because we don't spend our money advertising or taking the naming rights of stadiums. We spend our money coming up with products to help you as realtors sell more properties. So exactly what Ernesto, to jump on what Ernesto was talking about today, where, we've come up with a program similar, makes it a little similar to what D.R. Horton and Lennar Homes and the big builders are doing. They do something called builder forwards, which is kind of the same process. It's obviously a lot more money involved in this. And there's an old saying that there's statistics, there's lies, or damn lies, and then there's statistics, right? So the reality is math sometimes lies. right? You have to really dig in and see what's going on. Ernesto's 100% correct. While inventory is up from 2020, when we had zero inventory, so anything would be pretty much up from zero inventory. A good benchmark is a 2014 number where we're still below that number. I go back to my point that I always push with you. You're about selling dreams and homes. You're not economists, neither am I. We're not trading on the stock market these homes. At the end of the day, it's about people buying a home where they want to raise their family, send their kids to school, be closer to work. It's all a good investment over the long term. So as far as one home at a time, this is what we've come up with. Okay, it started about early in the year, but I think we perfected it now. It's called the List and Lock program. I know, Jennifer, you're on. You and I spoke about this on one of your listings, and it's actually been perfected a little more now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And talk a little bit about this. Now you can see the screen?
Yes.
Correct? Okay, give me one more second here. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is the program, guys. It's called List and Lock. And what it does two things. It allows you to advertise a much lower rate, like Lennar does, like D.R. Horton does, come and buy this house for 5.5% on your individual listings legally. Okay, so it's a great motivation for your seller to really save money, even on selling their house, as opposed to lowering the price. They do this program with us. By the way, this is unique to us. We're the only one who have this. So they're going to save money. They're going to have a better marketing ploy or marketing position to attract additional buyers. And number three, you're actually saving a lot of money for the buyer. So it's a win-win-win. Okay, there's nothing negative about it that I can see. And most importantly, not only does it save money for the borrower, it's a permanent interest rate reduction. I repeat, it's a permanent interest rate reduction. So what happens is some of these builders.
Ruben, I gotta pause you for 1 second since you're now the host. Look to the right to see there's people. I think there's people waiting to come into the.
I don't see
under
anybody.
Participants. No. I'm getting messages from people saying that.
Yep. Yeah. 13. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I was getting messages saying, "Hey, I'm at the door. I'm knocking at the door. Let me in."
I hit admit all, so.
Yeah, everybody. Go ahead. Perfect.
Okay.
So you might want to rewind. A couple of things.
We just gave away the 6 lucky numbers to the lottery. Sorry.
Llegaron tarde. No cogieron el pick 3.
That's right. No, just kidding, guys. Welcome. We're talking about a great program that we have called the List and Lock. Okay, it's exclusive to us at CMG. It's really, like Ernesto mentioned earlier, puts you on an even plane with builders who are offering lower rates to their buyers. What I was getting at a moment ago, the advantage is it's a permanent interest rate reduction. A lot of builders do what they call a buy down, a 3-2-1 or a 2-1 buy down, which gets the borrower in at a lower rate, but it's temporary. It goes back up in 3 years or 2 years or 1 year. Okay, this doesn't work that way. This is a permanent buy down for your borrower.
So this is not a teaser rate. This is what you're gonna pay as long as you own the home.
Yeah, so you got to do a 30-year mortgage. It's going to be 30 years at this rate. So it does two things. Number one, it lowers the payment significantly for your borrower. And number two, it helps them qualify easier. Because when you look at the builders, what they do, even though they offer a lower rate, the borrower still has to qualify at the higher rate. Okay, so this program is amazing because now not only can they actually get a lower rate, but they can actually qualify because now a lot of people are more able to qualify for your listing. Okay, right off the top, let me tell you, this is only available on what we call agency loans. So conventional FHA, USDA, and VA are good to go. Okay, this does not work on jumbo. This does not work on foreign national. Does not work on DSCR. Does not work on bank statement. Okay, so just off the top. But 95% of what you do and we do is agency loans. So this is why this is so important. Okay, so let's look at the screen here. Is an example of a property up in Palm Bay. It's listed for sale for $380,000. Okay, When we do this for you, not only do we do it for the seller is the one that has the program, okay? And there's two choices. They can do it now or they can do it later. We like the later one better. So they can lock in now, okay? I'm going to bring this down a little bit, and you'll see it's $999 to lock in now. You lock in later, it's $49. Now, all this is refundable at closing, okay? So there's really no cost to it. I like the $49 one, and I'll explain the difference in a minute. But let's talk about the program, okay? So right now, you have a $380,000 home with no concession, more or less the interest rate, 7.75. Their current monthly payment is, for the borrower, is $2,627, okay? They're gonna have to qualify on that, and that's based on 380. Now, the way this works is we're going to freeze the lock for the seller, very different, not the buyer, once they sign up for this program. So we're gonna freeze the rate, we're gonna freeze that lock, and they can contribute as much as they want to bring that rate down. They can contribute 1%, 2%, 3%. They contribute all the way up to 6%, depending on the program. As long as they contribute 1%, CMG is gonna match 1%. Tell me another lender is gonna give you 100 basis points towards your borrowers qualifying and permanent interest rate buy down. So this is the example. If you look at number 2 here, the borrower is decided that they want to give a 1% concession, okay? So that takes the rate from, and then once they do 1%, we're also doing 1%. That's already factored in here. So the rate drops from 7.75 to 6, okay? It's a significant difference, okay? The payment goes to $2,199. You see the borrower saving $428, okay? And they're able to buy $61,000 more of home. They qualify for more home from 7.75 to 6. What does it cost the seller? $3,800. So instead of bringing the list price down from 380 to, I think, 370, keep the price the same. The fee is $3,800. Again, this fee is only paid at closing. What's the risk? As a matter of fact, the buyer's getting a better deal and the seller's getting a better deal because they're not lowering the price. They're just paying this fee at closing. It also, if you work a specific market, it also doesn't mess up the market too, right? If you lower the price too much, you're going to mess up the market, right? Example number 3, and again, this has got a little star on it because this is pretty much kind of, we feel like the great spot, right? So the borrower, the seller pays 3% concession. We again give 1% concession, lower the rate to 5.25. And you think about this, guys, you're lowering the rate significantly, right? From 7.75 to 5.25. The borrower's cost now is $2,025 a month, saving $600 a month. I mean, they can go lease a Lexus for that, right? A little Lexus for $600. So I'm assuming this is very intriguing to a lot of buyers. Not only that, they
Ruben,
qualify.
I think there's a couple of more people waiting to get in.
Okay, let's see. Yep. I'm not used to being important, you know.
Yeah, to keep an eye, just keep one eye up there.
All right. Well, the problem is the screen's over here and my eyes are over here. That's all right. So going back to that third column or row, right? So they're going to save $602 a month with this program, the buyer, every month for 360 months if they do 30-year loan. They qualify for $87,000 more of a loan, okay? And it's only $11,000 to the seller. Again, only comes out at closing, nothing up front, okay? And then obviously you have the fourth option here, which is 6%. They really want to get aggressive. And again, all these numbers here, whether it's 0, I mean, whether it's 1, 3, or 6, are 1% is already calculated in this. Lowers the rate to 4.6 to 5, rates that we haven't seen in years, right? Lowers the payment to $1,885. That's $742 a month savings. Now your borrower goes from qualifying for basically the original 380 to an additional $107,000. And the cost to the seller is $22,800. Okay. The fact that we're doing the 1% is obviously to help move this inventory. Obviously, if they go with a buyer who does not use CMG, this doesn't qualify, right? They have to use us, and it has to be a conforming loan. Okay. So I'm going to go down here a little bit and tell you there's two options. one's the $9.99, and one's the $49. I really recommend the $49 one because you don't the seller doesn't pay the $49 until they have a contract, right? So once they have a contract, we charge them the $49, we put them in the program, and away they go. Okay, it's refundable. It's $50. My gosh, you spend $50, going to Dairy Queen, right? So that's the gist of the program as far as the black and white of it. Okay, but like they always say, there's more, right? What's more about this is that once we set them up in the list and lock program, we're going to do a ton of marketing for this property, okay, with the new rate, right? What good is it if nobody knows about it, right? So we are, and this is all for free, right? So let me see if I can get another screen here, Ernesto, if I get lucky, if I get smart enough. All right, can you guys still see my screen or no? Yes, okay, here we
Yes.
go. Wow, impressive. So we talked about the numbers, how much they're going to save, how much the seller's going to save because they're not lowering the price, they're just paying concession. How much the buyer is going to save on a monthly and yearly, how much more they qualify for. I mean, it's a win-win-win everywhere. It's $49 for God's sake, right? And it's refundable by closing, so it's really no cost. So what do you get for that beyond the 1% that we're contributing? Well, you get a sign writer, video with a QR code, custom videos, listing all the social media. Everything comes in for free to you guys. So you guys can promote this listing, right? So here's a copy. You guys can see the screen still, right, Ernesto?
Yeah.
Here's a copy of the sign writer. So you got your beautiful canvas sign up there. We're going to make a sign writer for you that says, get this house at this % rate. Do you have any other real estate companies besides Canvas that has that out there? I haven't seen it. I've seen it on D.R. Horton
No,
on the big
I have
signs.
not seen it on the road either. I have not
Well,
seen that
then
out
we
there
got
either.
something new, guys. You're going to have a QR code obviously attached to that, which takes it to your website. Here it is. Here's a custom sign writer. It's going to say, Canvas Real Estate, your typical writer that you use, and then your typical sign that you use, and then the writer underneath. We provide all this for how much? Free. No money. We're excited about this. We want to find a way to get these buyers into these houses. Okay. You get this, obviously, this QR code with a video showing the house that we prepare with you. And then we also make custom videos that we'll put on social media, showing what the savings are to the seller. I mean, to the seller and to the buyer. The buyer pays nothing. Okay, here's a little sample of video. It's like 58 seconds, I guess, so I can play it a little bit. Can you guys hear this or no?
No.
No, okay, you can't hear it, but basically that's the video. Can you see the video playing or no?
Yeah. So then you're making the video with information on that
Right.
particular property that they're sending to you.
Yeah. So
it's
pretty
it's
amazing
custom to that
marketing,
property.
pretty amazing concept. Again, this is a listing image already with the interest rate. We're going to post those videos all over social media with you. We'll do open house flyers for you with the new interest rate. Nobody's offering this, guys. So tell me, instead of lowering the price, right? And last time I checked, you guys get paid on price. So you make more money too, right? So you're not lowering the price. It's just $49. It has to be a conforming loan. I don't see a downside. I'm surprised there's not a line standing outside our door right now. Questions?
Okay. Yeah. So I had a couple of questions sent to me. Hold on, let me go back to the screen. So question number one was, and I think you already covered this at the beginning. This is not a teaser rate, right?
Nope. Permanent.
This is something that the buyer is going to have for the balance of their loan.
Correct.
Oh, until they refinance or they sell the house.
Yeah, as long as the loan is active, when it's paid off, it's paid off.
Okay. And then the marketing angle is, if I have a listing that I'm not getting any traffic, is to go with a $49 a month plan once from the beginning, or once I have a contract.
I don't know from the beginning. We want it. If you have a contract, you sold the house, right? The idea is to get you that contract. You're going to be able to take somebody who maybe wants to buy your house but can't afford it, right? Or better said, doesn't qualify for it, right? So now, you saw this. They can qualify for like $80,000 more in one of the examples, right? On the if they get on the 380 home, if we do a 3% concession, they qualify for $87,000 more. So now you're going to bring people up to the house. Your market's going to completely be wide open, okay, for your seller. And I go back to the point, it doesn't cost a seller a lot, it costs a seller a lot less than lowering the price of the home, right? So I'm not an accountant. I mean, I would have to ask a CPA or maybe somebody knows, but I would think that this is a selling cost. So if you think about it, also it helps on possibly some kind of a cost situation with your accountant.
No, we asked, and they told me that yes, that it is something you can write off.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, because Katrina was asking that. So no, this is for the balance of the loan until they refinance the house.
It's an amazing program, really. The fact is that what you're getting from us is the marketing, the program, and the 1%, which is huge, huge 1%.
So this helps with the affordability problem because based on the scenario you showed us, you're adding an extra $90,000 to that buyer's purchasing power.
Correct.
So if you're working with a buyer right now, and I mean, if you're selling your home right now, it's like you're selling your house $90,000 cheaper because you're going to get more buyers for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other question I had that they're asking me is the other marketing pieces that they gotta connect with yourself or one of the other,
Yeah, I like you guys
co-
to connect directly with me on this one, and then I'll
okay.
I'll I'll hand them out to the individual loan officers. Just because there is a process that we want to make sure that's done correctly, the way we signed you up, the way we sign up your seller. It's pretty. I think it's just ingenious, honestly, a program uh, for listings, right? So when do you see a mortgage company talking about helping you sell your listings? Typically, we just want your buyers, right? We want them all. I think it's all. We always build a relationship with you and your buyers and sellers.
So this gives, I mean, so I'm thinking two ways about it also. I'm thinking if I'm going on a listing presentation today, right? I want to bring this as part of my listing presentation. I want to tell that seller, hey, part of those tools that I have in my magic belt that sets me apart from everybody else that you're going to be interviewing is my partner lender partners up with you and me, and we bring in the same competitive marketing that Lennar, D.R. Horton, and Toll Brothers uses. So if I can also use this if I'm going to go compete for a listing today by telling the seller we are going to offer a drastic different rate to those buyers that are coming down the pipeline, right? Like, I mean, I can use it as a listing generation tool.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the buyer is going to save money monthly, right? On that example, the 3%, they're going to save $600 a month. They're going to qualify for an additional $87,000. So it's pretty, amazing what's happening, right? And the fact that we can advertise this and we can put it on writers and you can do it on videos and right now it's just, it's exclusive to CMG Home Loans. It's a way to sell every listing we have out there.
So for everybody listening that has a listing, I already verified this. So we can advertise this and under remarks as follow. This home quality, if the seller signed up for the program, you can put in the MLS, this home qualifies for a rate buy down. And you can actually advertise the rate. So if CMG tells you this one is a 5.4, you can actually advertise under broker remarks. So you're not waiting for Pete to call you to ask you what the heck is a rate buy down, because in case he doesn't know, you can explain it on the broker not on broker remarks, on the public remarks. So attention buyers, this property qualifies for would you say rate buy down or incentive rate? What would you think is a better lingo?
I like incentive. That's a good word.
Yeah. Qualifies for an incentive rate of 5.2%. I mean, think about it. If your listing says on the first sentence that your listing is coming with that rate, you're definitely gonna get buyers to call you directly. You're gonna get those buyers, and double ending a transaction. There's nothing wrong with it. That puts a smile on every listing agent's face. But that little tool might get you those phone calls from buyers directly that you may not be getting, because all of the the educated buyers, which a lot of them are gonna be like, this different rate is gonna get me, it's gonna be able to help me qualify. So
Absolutely.
and Ruben, so you guys only offer the lifetime. You don't do the 3-2-1 buy down or any of
We
those.
do we do a 3-2-1 buy down all day long, but that's a temporary buy down, right? And the problem with the 3-2-1, there's two. One is temporary, and number two, they have to qualify at the higher rate because it's temporary,
They're gonna
right?
qualify. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, if you have a listing and $16,000 price reduction, it's not gonna affect the seller as much as you think it is, because everybody has a price range in mind what their property is gonna sell for. So those $16,000 going straight to a buyer as a buy down helps a lot more than just getting a price reduction. So if you have a listing, so Dade County and Broward County right now, listings are selling in 52 days. So if everybody listening to me, if you can put in the chat, I have a listing that's been on the market for more than 52 days. Anybody? I think Ro put up her hand. So if your listing has been on the market for more than 52 days, Katrina, you guys need to give Ruben a call. And I think Ro also. If your listing has been sitting out there, you gotta think differently on how to market the listing. I'm not a doomsayer, but I'm telling everybody that we will be close to 6 months of inventory before you sip champagne on December 31st. We are heading to a balanced market. And I know a lot of people listening to my voice have not been on a balanced market. Everybody's accustomed to you put a sign for sale and then you gotta, fight with a broom with the buyers trying to rush into the door. That was a wonderful time and a wonderful experience. But the market is like a pendulum and the pendulum moves. And now we began to go to the middle, and now we are about to pass the middle and we're about to go in the other direction. So you need to do something different for your listings to sell. And more than that, you need to do something different to get those listings. When you go and compete against another real estate agent to get that listing, what are you going to offer more than I'm going to put your house in the MLS? That no longer that didn't do the trick before August 17 and post August 17. That does not get the trick done anymore. Ro, were you raising your hand because your listing's not selling, or you had a question?
No, I have a question. My listings are good, thank God, but this is a great, great program. Ruben, I have actually two questions. The first one is, I remember that the fee was non-refundable before. Is that correct? Like now it is?
It is refundable. It was always refundable. I don't know. Either I
Okay,
misspoke
and
or
then I got lost in like the difference between the 900 and the 49. Can you just
yeah.
emphasize on that and what's the difference?
So the 900 basically, it just depends on what market you're in, right? As far as where we're at with interest rates now. Then we did the 900 because we felt the rates were going to go down. And they're kind of still bumping around. They have come down a little bit. They're still bumping down, but they're not doing this. They're kind of doing this. So the 999 is effective immediately. That rate gets locked in the day we sign the contract. The 49 doesn't come into play until you have a buyer contract. That's the difference. I don't see the 999 staying around for much longer. It doesn't make any sense. The 49 is really the way to go. So we sign up now. We charge them $49. Okay, we have a contract. Mr. and Mrs. Smith bought the house. We got a contract. Okay, $49. It's $49. Take the credit card and.
So let's say that let's be negative and let's just say that that contract fell through and then you have a new buyer. Is that another $49.99 for the owner?
No.
Okay, so it's just a $49.99 for the contract. And that is refundable too?
At closing. Now, if they went to their bank, obviously they don't get it back. It's only refundable if they use us, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you, Ruben. This is great. I mean,
yeah, no, it's really you can really build a marketing campaign like Ernesto said on a listing presentation with this. It's huge. Let's see, any more questions? What do we got here? Okay, oh, that was actually you. So you're probably thinking, I'll come up with a question you may have. So what happens if I have somebody with really good credit or somebody with really bad credit, right? What's the difference? Well, these rates are obviously subject to that, but and what I'm showing here is an example, but it's still within their category, it's still going to be the same savings, proportionate to them, if you understand what I'm saying.
So, Ruben, I think more than anything is the marketing. Could you send me so I can share company-wide, you know, this a link to this page so I can share it with everybody?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. Well, everybody, believe it or not, our 30 minutes are up. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Like I said, if you have a listing and you've been out there for 50 plus days, and you're waiting for a miracle, I gotta tell you, you are the miracle. They chose you. They chose you. That seller chose you to market the house because you are the expert. Now, experts is like a knife. You gotta sharpen it, otherwise it gets dull, and you don't want to get dull. It has been a pleasure spending this time with you, Ruben. I put your number in the chat. Anything else you want to share with the group? We're saying goodbye.
No, thank you guys again for everything. Have a great day, the rest of your day, and go out there and sell some property.
Everybody, have a good week.
Take care.